Sonic and Mario, lifelong rivals, and they both just released a kart racing game, so the comparisons are inevitable. So today I'm gonna find out which one's truly better. So let's waste no time and get right into it. Since neither game has a story mode, they actually have very similar progression. In both games, the primary goal is just to beat all the Grand Prix, unlocking a final Grand Prix to play after you beat all the others. Where the games differ is in unlocking characters and cars. In Sonic Racing, you start off with basically everyone unlocked, but you can unlock Super Sonic by beating all the rivals at least once. However, in Mario Kart, you unlock main characters by beating Grand Prix, and you unlock a bunch of the random side characters by getting hit by a Kamek item. It's pretty lame that the only way to unlock these characters is basically by pure RNG. It makes going for 100%ing Mario Kart World a lot less fun. Though for something in Mario Kart World's favor, you can get different outfits for the character by finding food items in different locations. And that's pretty fun. In general, unlocking characters is pretty fun, but it's also nice to be able to play as your favorite right from the get-go. Like in Mario Kart World, you have to unlock Rosalina, but you start with baby Rosalina for some reason. And as for the cars, in Mario Kart World, you unlock a new kart every time you get a certain amount of coins. While in Sonic Racing, you unlock some cars by doing the race park mode, which we'll talk about more soon, and you unlock other car parts with Donpa tickets, which you get by performing well in races, getting red star rings, and other miscellaneous objectives. In general, unlocking cars in Sonic Racing is more interesting because you get to customize them. There's no kart customization in Mario Kart, while Sonic Racing has tons of customization, even doing colors. To add to the customization, you can also unlock gadgets. The gadgets really help you enhance your playstyle in Sonic Racing to make the gameplay even more fun. Speaking of which, the first thing I noticed playing Mario Kart World is that the controls are a lot looser and bouncier even than the previous Mario Kart 8. While in Sonic Racing, the controls are very tight and snappy. Both main types of control are good, but I prefer the Sonic Racing one personally. Both games also have a trick system. The one in Sonic Racing is mainly for getting boosts, while the one in Mario Kart is mainly for aerial mobility. In general, I prefer the way the Sonic Racing one controls, because in Sonic Racing, all you have to do is move the stick around and you do these cool tricks. While in Mario Kart, you have to awkwardly mash the R button each time you do a trick, which feels really clunky, and in the sections where you don't need to move around in the air as much, it feels really shallow. Both games also have sections where you're on the water. In Mario Kart, the water controls really aren't too different from the regular controls, except maybe being a little bit looser. In Sonic Racing, the water sections are also a little bit looser, and your drift is replaced with this jump that you can charge up. There's like 1 or 2 turns in the game where I wish you could drift on the water, but aside from that, the water controls in Sonic Racing are super fun. Both games also have air sections. The glider sections in Mario Kart World absolutely suck though. The controls are way too loose. So you're either just going to boringly move in a straight line or deal with really frustrating controls as you try to move left or right. Meanwhile, the flying sections in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds are super fun. The controls feel slightly looser than the ground controls, but they're still pretty fun and snappy, which also leads to the air sections in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds having much better design than the Mario Kart World ones. But speaking of area design, in Mario Kart World, the levels are pretty open, which in some levels is super fun, but there's also way too many levels that just become boring straight line or boring curve with nothing going on. While in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, all the levels are super tightly designed, very fun and snappy, where the only straight line sections still have enough obstacles to keep them interesting, and even the easiest of turns still have things going on, like going for boost pads or rings. The closest thing I could find to a boring straight line is when you're going into a crossworld, but that's only like 5 seconds long, so I wouldn't really count that as a boring line, more like a little section between areas. Speaking of sections between areas, part of Mario Kart World's whole thing is that you drive between the races in the Grand Prix. Though honestly, this makes some of the levels feel pretty unmemorable, because most of the race is just generic road and you only get 1 lap in the actual level. Not all the levels have this issue, but like over a third of them do. This issue isn't even remotely present in Sonic Racing. All the main levels are super memorable and you get the first and last lap there, with the middle lap taking place in a crossworld, and unlike Mario Kart World's very samey roads, the crossworlds in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds are all super distinct and memorable. Also, one thing that really annoys me in Mario Kart World, when you're going around a turn on a racing game, there's usually a hazard on the side, like a wall to bump into to lose a little bit of speed, rough terrain to slow you down more, or a pit to fall into to lose all your momentum. And it seems like this would be the same in Mario Kart World, but there's quite a few turns in the game with these walls, and instead of behaving like any of the other walls in the game, you just go right through them and fall off the edge. And it's not like this is every wall in the game, it's only some. So every time it happens, it feels like a cheap trick, and this problem isn't anywhere in Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Overall, Sonic Racing definitely has the better levels, but these games have more than just the main racing mode. Mario Kart World's main extra mode is the open world. Driving around can be fairly fun, but the main draw is finding these really fun missions throughout the world. However, the annoying thing is that there's no way to tell where these missions are. No maps, no hints, no nothing. So the only way to find them is to drive around aimlessly, which when you're not doing missions, driving around aimlessly gets boring after like 5 minutes. Because outside of these missions, there's really nothing to do. Also, the missions don't even show up if you're doing the open world in multiplayer, which just makes it feel pointless. Mario Kart also has a mode called Knockout Tour. It's a really cool mode where you drive through a completely seamless Grand Prix, and at the end of each area, the people in the last 4 places get eliminated. The only downside is that if you're playing in multiplayer and one of your friends gets eliminated, they just kind of have to sit there watching you play for what can be like a 10-minute long race. Lastly, Mario Kart World also has a battle mode. It sucks, the levels are way too open so you don't even see your enemies half the time. Sonic Racing CrossWorlds has its extra modes in this race park. You're split into teams and there's extra objectives along the race, like collecting the most rings or bumping into each other. Then there's also a mode where all the items are all the crazy extreme items. Both games have pretty good extra modes, but I feel like Sonic Racing's is definitely better for multiplayer. In the end, I'd say Mario Kart World is a pretty good kart racer, but Sonic Racing CrossWorlds is one of the best racing games I've ever played, and comparing the two side by side, it's night and day. Sonic Racing has a better method of 100%ing the game without relying on RNG. Sonic Racing has better designed and more memorable levels. Sonic Racing is better for multiplayer, and even down to the core gameplay, Sonic Racing is just better. If you're looking to get one of these games, definitely go with Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next epic video, and I'll see you all next time.
Sonic